Hallo guys, the Critical German here and welcome to a new wunderbares video. Today we talk about Madoka Movie 4 again. You wanted to hear more of my opinion for the upcoming movie, so I will give it to you like Jürgen gives you your Bratwurst in Berlin. So today we asked the question, what's the point of movie 4? What will it be like and with which topics will it deal? And what roles will the characters play in it in this regard? One side note before we begin. This is just my personal opinion and what I want from the story. Also, there will be spoilers for everything. Obviously, you have been warned. I said it in my Will It Suck video. Rebellion, the third movie, was never planned. So having a sequel movie to a movie that was never planned is impressive. But it comes with many red flags. I said to trust in Urobuchi since he wrote the script for movie 4 back in 2016. And they also bring back all of the people that worked on Rebellion. I changed my opinion a bit and thought about it more. Sure, Rebellion is my favorite movie ever and it's a miracle that this movie was that good, even if Urobuchi wanted it to end after the original series and said that there are no more stories to be told. Urobuchi is a capable scriptwriter, no doubt, but he had to write another script for a movie that was never planned. And that is the problem. There is a limited amount of how many times you can pull off something like that. Maybe Urobuchi was already tired of the franchise and told Shaft again, well guys, I already wrote a script for a movie that was never intended, but now I have to do it a second time? This could be poison for the script itself, because the writer never wanted to make it in the first place, for the second time. But this is only speculation, and we can't see into the mind of Urobuchi. Maybe he was all hyped up and has a worthy story to tell. The point I wanted to make is, better keep your expectations low than get infinitely disappointed. And this also ties into my first major point. I want it to be the last movie in the Madoka franchise as a whole. I seriously want it to end. And to end it on a high note. With Urobuchi. Imagine if they decide to make a second season after the movie without Urobuchi or the other creators involved. Do you seriously want something like that? The same thing happened with Psycho Pass after season 1, a show that was also written by Urobuchi and he wasn't involved in season 2. So we just got bad to mediocre shows and movies because they bet a dead horse. Do you want Madoka, a show so special, to become something like that? Sure, they can do spin-offs and shit, but beating the main cast over and over like a dead horse just feels wrong. So, please let it end. To end it as a whole. I hope they go the Evangelion route there. Its last rebuild movie was a beautiful send-off to the franchise as a whole, and I can see them doing it in movie 4 too. Bring the beloved characters on screen for one last nostalgic ride and bring the story to an end 10 years after the last movie. But what will the roles of the character be? Let's talk about them one after another. First off, we have Homura. Yeah, basically the story centered around her, and in Rebellion she took the main role. At the end of Rebellion she became the devil because she ripped apart the law of the cycle. But she only took away one part, the memories of Madoka as a human. So Madoka can live a normal life again as a girl. This is all up for discussion though. We don't know what effects it has on the world as a whole because Homura just changed a universally law. It still exists, but the question in the room is, what impacts has the change Homura did? What did her actions really cause? We know Madoka has a human body now. She also seems to have her Madokami power, but Homura wants her to stay human by any cost, completely ignoring Madoka's desires. She keeps her with her demon powers in a cage. I think this ignorance of Homura will play an important role. I think Homura will act as the major villain. That's quite obvious. They even hinted at it at the end of Rebellion when they said, then we might become enemies in the future, teasing a fight between Madoka and Homura. But I don't want Homura to become just an evil villain that has to be defeated. This should also be a battle between two fronts that sparks a discussion. How much selfishness is okay? Homura should realize that she can change what Madoka wants in favor of her own interests. Just because she thinks it's the best for Madoka to not sacrifice herself, it doesn't mean that this is truly what's the best for Madoka. She basically ignores Madoka's desires and wishes because deep down she thinks she is right. And she also doesn't want to lose her friend, which is very understandable. Homura is a morally grey and interesting character. She puts her human desires to the forefront and ignores the fate of the whole universe, but who can blame her? We're all just human. It will be interesting to see how they will deal with this conflict. Will Homura accept that she can change Madoka's desires? Second, we have Madoka, the girl that sacrificed herself for the greater good and became an abstract concept of the universe. Her role in the new movie could be that she has to deal with the consequences of her wish. Of course, Homura is the foil to it all. Maybe Madoka reflects on it more and sees how she hurt Homura. Maybe she realizes that sacrificing yourself for the greater good isn't the answer to everything and isn't truly the right decision to make, even if it saves countless of lives and prevents suffering. This is also very interesting. Homura, a former human, became a god. Madoka, a former god, became a human. So they kinda shift their perspectives to see what the other side is like. Madoka, as a human again, learns that human desires are okay to have and that humans can't become gods like it's nothing. There will always be the human left in you. And Homura learns what it is like to have the power of a god. You can't talk about Madoka without Homura, and it's also true for the other way around. When Homura learns to accept that she can change Madoka, Madoka needs to learn to be more human and maybe admit that her wish was not for the sake of the greater good when a friend gets hurt like that. She has to consider whether it was really worth it or not. Next up, we have Sayaka. She was basically the protagonist of season 1 because she had the most screen time and impact on the story. In Rebellion, she became the assistant of Madokami and helped her together with Nagisa. There is one particular thing we need to get: the fight between her and Homura. But one-on-one please, with swords and bombs. It was teased way back in season 1 with their personalities clashing, and directly in Rebellion when they almost fought but couldn't because of, I suppose, budget reasons. So please give us a fight between them, just like the fight between Homura and Mami. Okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about her role in movie 4. The thing is that she is kind of a side character now and has not that much to do except for supporting. They begged Urobuchi to bring her back in Rebellion, and he did his best with her by making her Madokami's assistant and gave her a closure with Kyoko. With that, what is left for Sayaka to do? I can only imagine that she fights alongside human Madoka now, only acting as a sidekick. The focus will be clearly on Homura and Madoka. Sayaka even sorted things out with her feelings for Kyosuke, so this plot point is also finished. So yeah, Sayaka might be just a supporter, being on human Madoka's side and act against Homura because she hated her all the way back. Or she acts as the middle ground between Homura and Madoka. Who knows? At the end of Rebellion, Homura completely owns her with her powers and kinda played with her memories. We don't know what consequences this will have, but I can't imagine them setting a character completely to zero once again. Come on, you can't undo all her development. And then we have Kyoko. She was in the original series to represent a not good-natured magical girl, to show a contrast between our main girls and a cruel, harsh nature of a real magical girl fighting for her territory. In Rebellion, she also had a companion role to Homura when they went to Casamino. But it's the same with Sayaka. She is more of a side character now and her arc already ended. I mean, her character was very different in Rebellion and she kinda became, in my opinion, a bit uninteresting. In the original series, she was more harsh and aggressive, but later on she warmed up and realized her mistakes. And in Rebellion, she is just a bit aggressive and stuff. but ultimately just normal, so she lacks what made her interesting in the first place. But in Rebellion, she is kinda just there for the ride, but has no bigger purpose than filling a side role. Sayaka got way more to do and a real purpose with her being the assistant of Madoka. So hopefully they do something more with Kyoko, or when they don't, she will just be an alright side character like in Rebellion. Let's talk about the last member of the Holy Quintet, Mami. I will call it now. Mami will have a very important role in movie 4. She was just in 3 episodes in the original series, and in Rebellion she acts as the bridge to the central mystery with her being friends with Charlotte. And you know, she's a damn popular character and the stuff behind it knows that. I can see her taking an essential role and she desperately needs it. Her character has much potential and they can develop her more and give some more insights. They did it in the manga The Different Story where she takes the spotlight. But in the anime space there is much potential when it comes to her character. Maybe we see her arc coming to a conclusion with her realizing what she really wants. But well, they already did this in the manga. It ends her arc perfectly in my opinion. So maybe they borrow something out of it. I wouldn't really mind because it was well written. Okay, we talked about all 5 main girls. There are some characters left I want to go over. Kyube's role for example. I think he will be Homura's slave because she said she needs them for her actions. She also totally destroyed him and showed her dominance. Kyube or this life form in general won't be back as a major threat. I can guarantee you that. It would also be lame to bring him back as the main villain for the 3rd time now. Please don't. They also introduced Nagisa, a former witch who was selected by Madoka to be her assistant. They really need to elaborate more on this because we don't get the information we need. Why was she selected? And who was she in the first place? We don't get to know anything about her and that bothered me. She will be back for movie 4, so please do something with this character or she will be just bland compared to the main cast. The last character is Hitomi, Sayaka's and Madoka's best friend from school. She played an important role for the love triangle between Sayaka, Kyosuke and her. Also, she has green hair and you know what color lacks in the Holy Quintet? Yeah! Piss, yeah, I mean green. There are also theories out there claiming she becomes a magical girl because it would fit color-wise and stuff. There is also a space free in the Holy Quintet, now with Homura leaving. I personally think it's not necessary for her to become a magical girl. I mean, she's just a side character and really underdeveloped. And that's completely fine for a side character. She already fulfilled her role perfectly. They could give her more screen time in movie 4, but we also have Nagisa as the new additional magical girl, and they should put more focus on Madoka and Homura. Hitomi wouldn't make a great addition because of that. So I hope they didn't force her in as a magical girl just because of green. It's better to give your existing characters the spotlight, especially if they end the franchise as a whole. What do you want to prefer then? A 100% focus on the closure of Madoka and Homura, or Hitomi randomly becoming a magical girl because green? I will let you decide. That was my opinion on the different characters. As you can see, I want Madoka and Homura to be the focus of the story, which shouldn't come as a surprise. Just let it be a fair send-off to these beloved characters. This is all I want from the movie. The title also implies that it is about Walpurgisnacht. Fun fact, this is a real festival here in Deutschland. So Walpurgisnacht will obviously appear. I hope they don't focus too much on the new stuff, characters and concepts, because what we have on the table after Rebellion is just fine. It makes enough room for interesting character interactions, fights and drama. And Nagisa's already a new character we need more information on, like I said. So we really don't need more new stuff or characters. Keep it a close and tight character drama like in the original series. This is a key element that made Madoka great. I am looking forward to see the movie. Let's see if they end it in a satisfying way. And you know what is also very satisfying? Me, the critical German. So I would appreciate it if you leave a like, a comment and subscribe to the channel for the YouTube algorithm. That was my opinion. See you in the next video. Macht's gut, bis dann, ciao.